Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you for taking out your time to join us today. Hope you find the session valuable. My name is Ishita. I'm a partner at Agilifly Digital Transformations. I'll be your co-host along with Sangram. Today, we are here to talk to you about the Smartsheet add-on feature, Smart Minutes. Smart Minutes is a feature that has been developed by Agilify as a Smartsheet Platinum partner, and it is for Smartsheet users. It seamlessly integrates with Smartsheet and is listed and approved for the Smartsheet marketplace.
Perfect. So before we get into the demo and showing you about what exactly Smart Minutes is, let's tell you a little about Agilifly. So at Agilifly, we are Platinum Solutions partners with Smartsheet. We have deep tech and AI capabilities that supplement our Smartsheet consulting service. We're a global team, as we mentioned in the warm-up. And while we are headquartered out of Luxembourg, we have a presence on all continents. Now coming to the problem that we are trying to solve over here, right? So finding meeting minutes that are scattered all over emails or on OneDrive, etc., and trying to understand what is the exact status of the actions that we discussed 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. That's a waste of very precious time, right? So Smart Minutes is taking all of the transcripts and converting them into outcomes, into actions, risks, issues, decisions, and automatically sending them into Smartsheet or into your emails. Note that Smart Minutes, it's not a note taker. Okay, we'll have a section on security later, but Smart Minutes is super secure since it's never listening to you. It's securely accessing the transcript that Zoom or Teams are already creating, and it's transforming those into the meeting outcomes that we mentioned. Now, let's see how exactly it works. Let's see a demo in action with Ishita.
All right, thank you, Sangram. And right on time for the demo. Hopefully, we have everyone joined in by now because this is where the real meat of the session is. So, the journey starts with activating your Smartsheet, Smart Minutes account. Apologies. And the way that happens is as a user, you will get an invitation to sign into Smart Minutes, set up a password, very much like your Smartsheet account. It's similar for Smart Minutes as well. To note that Smart Minutes is its own web platform. However, as mentioned earlier, it is possible to use Smart Minutes from within your Smartsheet account. That's how integrated it is. So you can do your day-to-day operations not from the Smart Minutes platform, but from your Smartsheet account. And we're going to take a look at that very soon. So there are several ways of using Smart Minutes from the UI, from your Smartsheet account, with a meeting integration, without a meeting integration. And we're going to cover all those combinations since different teams prefer to use it in different ways. So when a person or user logs in and sets up their password, this is what they see. This is a home page of Smart Minutes. And you see different tabs up top, which is My Meetings, Settings, Help Center, Paste Your Transcript. Help Center is where we're not going to go at all today because that's ticketing and FAQs. However, we're going to be covering the rest of the tabs and we're going to be covering how to use this from within your Smartsheet account as well. So the first place you would typically land is settings when you log in. And this is already a demo account that is set up. But what you would typically see here is a connect button that would connect to your Smartsheet account. So it would essentially ask you for authorization to say, can I connect to your Smartsheet account? And if you allow it, then Smart Minutes is connected, integrated to Smartsheet. Once connected to your Smartsheet, you can add destination sheets just by clicking on Add Sheet. You see this pop-up, and this pop-up will contain your list of workspaces on Smartsheet or Sheets, and you can go into any workspace and, for example, choose a sheet and add it as a destination sheet. So by linking your Smart Minutes and Smartsheet account, you are able to select destination sheets to receive your meeting outcomes from your Smartsheet workspaces via this very convenient dropdown. So as you can see, my list of destination sheets that are ready to receive meeting outcomes from Smart Minutes are already listed. Then there's a third option of mirroring your workspace. Now, this is what I've been referring to. When you click this on an account that's not set up, you will see something like this, mirror. And when you click this and the account is mirrored, then this is what it looks like, right? Now, in interest of time, I've already done this in advance. It takes 2 or 3 minutes. But what mirroring does is it creates a dedicated Smart Minutes workspace within your Smartsheet account. And after that, majority of the functions that you can do from Smart Minutes, you can also do directly from your Smartsheet. So you don't have to keep logging into your Smart Minutes account. It's like the engine that's powering everything at the back end once it's set up. So let's look at both ways. How do you work with Smart Minutes on Smart Minutes as a platform, and how do you work with Smart Minutes within your Smartsheet account? So we go to the home page, which is My Meetings, and on My Meetings, you see a list of meetings. And you see your selected platform that has been configured if you're using Smart Minutes in a way that it's integrated with Teams, right? And that's one of the ways of using it, and the full feature way of using it. So you can have an integrated platform, Teams or Zoom or both, and that is pulling in your list of meetings from your Teams and Zoom calendar. Now, what you can see in front of you is completed meetings. These are meetings that I have hosted as a user from my Teams or Zoom, whatever platform it is that's configured. So Ishita has hosted all of these meetings over the last 30 days from her Teams account. That's what this list is. So each row is one meeting that was hosted by me. Coming to future meetings, these are meetings that are scheduled with me as a host on this meeting platform for the next 30 days. So I can just see what are my meetings over the next 30 days that I'm hosting, and all of this is displayed over here. Now, the way we use this is we choose our destination sheet. If you remember, we had added destination sheets in the settings tab just by clicking in, and a list of our sheets had opened up and we just added destination sheets. So once you add those destination sheets, they're here in this very easy drop-down option, and you can just choose whatever destination sheet you want your meeting minutes to go to for that particular meeting. You can also just add your destination sheets from here, and the same list of workspaces and sheets will open, and you can add one from here if you don't want to go into the settings. So now, just in interest of time, I'm selecting some sheet and I'm telling Smart Minutes, yes, auto sync to my sheet and auto send to my email. What this means when it's turned on is you are telling Smart Minutes, please go securely read my transcript for this meeting and read my sheet columns, make sense out of all this, and give me actions, decisions, risks, and issues as an output on my sheet as soon as this meeting is over and the transcript is available, right? So that is what you're doing by configuring your meeting preferences. You're saying which of these is relevant to send to a sheet, and do I want it to auto send to my sheet and my email, or just email and not my sheet. So you can choose whatever you want. It's not forcing everything to go to Smart Sheet or email. It's depending on your preference. The third tab is recurring meetings. This is pretty much the same. You choose your destination sheet, auto sync to sheet, auto send via email. The only difference between the future and the recurring tabs is each row over here represents the next instance of a recurring series of meetings. So a daily sprint review is actually a daily meeting, but I don't see daily sprint review 365 times because that would be very painful. So I just see the recurring meeting with the next occurrence listed, and I set up my destination sheet and email preferences. And this applies to the whole series. So I don't have to come in every week or every day and reselect it for the next occurrence. It's just going to apply it for the whole series till the series stays valid, right? Now, there may be a situation where in our daily sprint review, on one particular day, we're having a colleague's farewell and it's virtual. So, but I don't want anything to go to my smart sheet. So I can just deactivate my settings temporarily and turn it back on whenever I wanted to resume sending meeting outcomes to my sheet. All right. So now we go back to completed meetings. This tab exists for two reasons. The first reason is it's just informational. It's to see, okay, you had these meetings, and all of these are just dummy meetings on a demo account. So please ignore the metadata in there. But it shows you a list of your meetings that have been completed over the past 30 days. And wherever you had pre-set up a destination sheet and said send to sheet, send to email, it's showing you the status of that run. So it's saying, yeah, I've already sent this meeting weekly, Jack and Ishita one-on-one. I've already sent it to the sheet and I've already sent it to your email. So it's more of a reminder. The second and more crucial purpose of this is to give you an opportunity to come and run the meeting minutes after the meeting, post facto. Now, this can be used in several situations. For example, I did not pre-configure a destination sheet or email settings before a meeting because I thought it wasn't important. I didn't have time. It was scheduled at last minute, whatever it is, right? I didn't schedule it, but during the meeting, I realized, oops, these meeting minutes really need to go to my sheet and maybe even my email. So now what do I do? So you have the next 30 days till it's visible over here to come in and run the minutes post facto on any destination sheet of your choice. So you can always you don't have to always pre-configure if you're not sure about it. So let's just take an example of, you'll also see some grays over here. This means that I can't, Smart Minutes cannot do anything with it simply because there was no transcript. There was no transcript turned on for that meeting. So where there is no transcript, there is no meeting outcome. And that's actually a security feature because sometimes in confidential discussions, people want to just turn off the transcripts. So this is just indicating that there was no transcript for these meetings. So let's just assume that this particular meeting, weekly project portfolio update, this has already been run by Smart Minutes and sent to my sheet and email. However, we're just going to assume for now that I had forgotten to set it up and I now want to go and send these meeting outcomes to my sheet. So I can come in and click open. Now, this takes 1 to 3 minutes to run, depending on the number of RAID or risk issue action decision items that were discussed in the meeting. And the reason for that, it's again a security feature. We are not storing any transcripts. It's on demand. So only when the transcript is available and you're saying, go, right, open and now generate my meeting outcomes, that is when Smart Minutes is actually going and reading your transcript, reading your sheet, and making sense of it and generating actions, issues, risks, and decisions, writing them to your sheet, writing them to your email. So all of this is happening live, and that's why it takes a couple of minutes to do. However, this is only important if you're coming into your Smart Minutes account after the meeting and then asking it to generate meeting outcomes. If you've already pre-configured it, it's just going to write it to your sheet, and all of this happens in the background without you having to come and run it, right? So this is just to show you how it does it. So that's why we're generating these meeting outcomes after a meeting is done for a completed meeting. Okay, while this is running, let's talk about mirroring, which is a feature we are very excited about. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, you can mirror your Smart Minutes workspace to Smartsheet. Now, what happens when you do this? Smart Minutes creates a dedicated Smart Minutes workspace within your Smartsheet account. So if you can see, this is just a demo Smartsheet account, and Smart Minutes has auto created this workspace when I went and clicked on mirror. It takes 2 or 3 minutes and then the workspace emerges. The workspace has a couple of things like instructions and a data sheet. So it's really only two assets that you interact with. This workspace allows us to do whatever we are doing on Smart Minutes, but within Smartsheet. So let's take a look at it. This is the meeting settings configuration report. So as you can see, it looks very familiar in terms of the data in it to your Smart Minutes account. It has completed meetings, your future scheduled meetings, and your recurring meetings categorized. So it's mirroring the meetings from your Smart Minutes account to Smartsheet. So changes you make over there is going to reflect on Smartsheet, and changes you make over here is going to write back to Smart Minutes. It's a bi-directional interface integration. So you have the same settings: auto send to email, auto sync to sheet, select destination sheet. So whatever destination sheets you've added on your Smart Minutes account are going to reflect automatically and dynamically within this dropdown or on the report. So you can just go to any one of your meetings. Let's just say Tech Summit Planning is a future scheduled meeting. I haven't selected anything, but I think it's going to be relevant to send this information to my sheet. So I'm just going to select any of my destination sheets and I'm going to say send to sheet, send to email, and it's configured. So you can do the same thing from your Smartsheet that you were able to do from Smart Minutes. You can also go in and run meetings after they are complete. So you can see the status of those completed runs, and you can go and also select a new destination sheet. If you want to send this meeting minute or meeting outcome to another sheet compared to where it's already there because you want to send it to two sheets, you can just select another sheet and it'll go there. If it's something that you hadn't pre-configured and you now want to come in and run, you can also do that by just selecting a destination sheet and saying send to email, send to sheet, right? After the meeting for the next 30 days. Now let's just go back to our Smart Minutes account and see what was happening. So when we last left this, for the weekly project portfolio update meeting, we had asked it to, after the meeting, generate meeting outcomes, and we hope to send it to our sheet and email, right? So this is what it's generated. It's generated a preview with a certain structure: meeting date, title, is this a raid item? What is the description or discussion point assigned to, status, due date, etc. Now, why has it picked the structure? It's picked the structure because the raid sheet that I had selected as my destination sheet has this structure. So it's mirroring the same structure as my sheet and making sense out of those lengthy transcripts and generating these meeting outcomes. Another thing to point out is while this sheet has columns for task, risk, issue, decision, classification, you may not have it, right? You may have a completely different sheet structure. As long as your sheet structure makes sense, it's going to auto-populate and adjust to your sheet structure. So you're not beholden to any one structure. You also have auto classification. Even if you don't do anything, it will classify your meeting minutes as a task, a risk, an issue, or a decision or an observation within the core meeting outcome, right? So even if you didn't have a RAID column over here, it would still tell you by this prefix that this is a task, an issue, a risk, a decision, or an observation. It's going to try to find for tasks an action owner, and it's going to try to find the email ID from your Smartsheet account or the meeting invite. Wherever there was a person sitting in the room who wasn't on the meeting invite, so it doesn't know what the email ID is. So it's still going to try to populate a name over there for reference of the meeting host so that they remember that, okay, this person was sitting in the meeting room with us, maybe a client or a guest. It's going to try to comment on status, due date. If you say something is due tomorrow, it's going to say, yes, that's 22nd of April. So it's going to do that calculation for you and populate that for you, right? Now let's just assume we want to send this to a sheet. When you're doing it like this after the meeting, when you're coming into your Smart Minutes account and doing it, you can actually choose which actions you want to include or exclude. As we saw, it's written to the sheet. I'm also going to send it to my email because maybe I want to send the same summary on email to someone. I can type out emails over here, or if I'm just sending it to myself, I just send it to myself. Then I don't have to type out my own email. So now we're just going to go to the sheet. And as you can see, the screen has lit up in beautiful blue color. And this is essentially within seconds, the minutes have landed up on our sheet with date type columns and email ID type columns, drop down, everything in order. So built for a Smartsheet user, right? And let's also look at email. So just right now, this email has come in and it's exactly mirroring what has gone into my sheet. And this is an editable table. So I can delete rows, I can modify the text, do whatever, forward it to people. It's not just a image that's there. You can edit it however you want to and send it across. But it follows the same structure as your sheet without you having to download a CSV and play around with it and type out minutes on email. Now, you may ask, what do we do about uh, if my Teams admin is busy or my Zoom admin is busy and I want to start using Smart Minutes now? How can I use it? Um, there is a light way of using Smart Minutes too. If you're not the meeting host, if your Teams or Zoom admin, it maybe needs a few weeks to be available for a 20-minute call to just set up the integration. You can still use the paste your transcript feature where you can just paste a raw transcript and the meeting topic, and you can just send it to your destination sheet. You can even do this from your mirrored Smartsheet workspace. You don't have to come to your Smartsheet account to do it. So like this, you can just put in the meeting transcript like a dump. You can just stick it in a cell and put the meeting date, title, choose your destination sheet, put in the email ID of the participants, and send to sheet. So this typically takes 3 or 4 minutes, and then this is going to write to your sheet or your email, whatever you choose in your options, the same way as we just saw in the previous example. And the status over here gets updated to completed. Okay, now that's it for the demo. Now let's talk about security and commercials because I'm guessing some of you may be interested in those aspects too.
Oops.
Sangram, with you.
On mute, on mute. Perfect. Thank you so much, Ishita. So let's talk security, right? So by default, Smart Minutes has enterprise grade security. Security is at the very fundamental core of it. Yeah. So let's list down what exactly constitutes the security. Number one, as mentioned, Smart Minutes is not listening to or recording any calls. Smart Minutes is only using the transcripts that Zoom or Teams are making, right? Smart Minutes is only transforming and transmitting those transcripts. To further ensure that the transformations and the uh, transmission is also secure, we are certified. We are ISO 27001 certified and SOC 2 compliant. Yeah. Smart Minutes uses Microsoft's Azure GPT AI, which in itself has enterprise grade security, data deletion policies, and it never uses customer data to train its AI. Yeah. Furthermore, it has common sense built in, right? So if you don't want any minutes, turn off the transcript. The minute you turn off the transcript for Zoom or Teams, there's no transcript. Smart Minutes is not going to create any RAID logs. And finally, you have the option of just copy pasting your transcript immediately in case the Zoom or Teams admin are not available in the short term. With that, let's move to pricing. Ishita, do you want to take over?
Um, yes, so our pricing keeps getting better thanks to enterprise AI getting more efficient. Pricing, the biggest news is pricing is not locked in. There is no per user annual lock-in. You just pay for what you use, and it's very, very economical, priced for scaled use. So it works on a credit-based usage model. Now, a credit is one run of smart minutes. So for every one time it's sending the meeting outcomes to a sheet or email, that is one run. So one credit is equal to one run, and you can purchase credit bundles, which essentially means bundles of even as low as 200 all the way up to 30,000. You can buy as many credits as you want, and they do not expire. So regardless of the number of users you have or your pace of usage, you can just keep using them till you are a user of Smart Minutes, right? So they don't expire in 6 months or 1 year. We give 25% purchase credits over and above for free so that teams are very comfortable with experimenting with different uh, types of sheet formats and playing around with it a little before using their paid credits.
To thank all of you for taking the time out and joining us. I would request you, like there's a QR code on the screen. If you could scan that, that will allow you to set up a bespoke demo for your team or access like a free 2 week trial. Alternately, you can just email us at info@smartminutes.ai or sign up directly on our website, www.smartminutes.ai. One request after you shut the webinar, you will be prompted to take a 2 question survey. If you fill up the survey, we will know whether we should contact you or not. One final note, I was seeing like the team was trying to get to all of the questions that were being asked. In case your question has been missed out, don't worry, we will get back to you offline. On behalf of our team, thank you so much, and we look forward to connecting with all of you soon.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.